There comes a moment when everything inside you breaks, when silence feels louder than screams, when the world turns its back and you stare at the ceiling wondering if it's all worth it. That's the point most people quit, but listen to me, that moment isn't your end, it's your rebirth. When you lose all hope, that's when life dares you to fight back. Every scar, every tear, every failure is your proof that you're still in the game. People will tell you to calm down, to accept defeat, to move on. No, you rise. You rise when it hurts, when it's impossible, when no one believes. Because strength isn't built in comfort, it's forged in chaos. You don't find hope lying on the ground, you create it with blood, sweat, and defiance. The world respects those who refuse to stay broken. So stand up, look in the mirror. That reflection is your weapon, your story, your power. The day you feel you've lost everything is the day you're about to become unstoppable. Pain is the birthplace of power. It's the most brutal, honest, and unfiltered teacher you'll ever have. When life tears you apart, when everything you love is taken, when the weight of failure crushes your chest, it's not the universe destroying you, it's rebuilding you. Pain strips away your comfort, your illusions, your excuses. It doesn't ask for your permission. It doesn't wait for your readiness. It forces you to see who you truly are when nothing is left. And that, right there, is where power begins. Real strength doesn't come from books, podcasts, or motivational words. It comes from the nights you cry in silence and still show up the next morning. It's born when you're at rock bottom, staring at the ruins of everything you thought you were. And instead of surrendering, you whisper, I'll try again. Pain exposes weakness, but only so you can destroy it. Every setback becomes a weapon if you decide to learn from it. Every betrayal becomes a lesson if you refuse to let it define you. You start realizing that the people who hurt you, the moments that broke you, and the failures that embarrassed you were actually shaping you into something far more dangerous. Someone who cannot be shaken. Most people run from pain. They numb it, hide it, pretend it doesn't exist. But pain chases them anyway, and because they never face it, it consumes them. The ones who face it head on, who look it in the eyes and say, do your worst. Those are the ones who rise above everyone else. Pain is not your enemy, it's your transformation. Every champion, every conqueror, every legend you admire was born through suffering. They weren't handed success. They were broken, humiliated, rejected, doubted, and forgotten. And in that darkness, they built themselves. That's the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. Ordinary people let pain end them. Extraordinary people let pain awaken them. Think of a blade. When it's first forged, it's just metal, raw, dull, useless. But through fire, hammering, and relentless heat, it becomes a sword sharp enough to cut through anything. That's you. Every hardship is the hammer. Every heartbreak is the fire. Every loss is the forge that transforms you. Without the pain, you'd stay dull, weak, untested. It's through that suffering that you find your edge, your clarity, your discipline. You become unbreakable because you've already been broken and rebuilt stronger. Pain also teaches gratitude, not the fake kind where you force yourself to smile, but the deep kind that only those who've suffered understand. When you've been through the storm, you start to value the smallest things. A peaceful moment, a breath of calm, a true friend, a day without fear. You stop chasing meaningless validation and start appreciating your journey. Pain grounds you in reality and makes you see what truly matters. It humbles you, then empowers you. Because once you've been through real pain, the little problems that destroy others won't touch you anymore. You've seen worse. You've survived worse. But here's the truth. Pain doesn't automatically make you stronger. It gives you the opportunity to become stronger, but you still have to choose it. Pain can destroy you or build you. The outcome depends on your mindset. You can drown in self-pity, or you can use every drop of it as fuel. When you start viewing pain not as punishment, but as preparation, everything changes. You stop asking why me and start saying try me. You stop hoping for an easy life and start demanding the strength to handle a hard one. You stop waiting for miracles and start becoming one. People who have never suffered don't understand power. They don't understand hunger, drive, or the will to fight. They crumble at the first sign of adversity because they've never tasted real loss. But those who've faced darkness, who've felt their soul bleed and still moved forward, they have something different inside. A quiet fire, a resilience that no one can imitate. They don't talk about power, they are power. Their confidence isn't arrogance, it's experience. They know what it costs to stand tall, so they never bow. And when you embrace pain as your mentor, something incredible happens. Fear loses its hold on you, because once you've already suffered deeply, there's nothing left to fear. You realize you can handle anything. That's real freedom. Pain frees you from the illusion of comfort, from the chains of fear, from the opinions of others. You stop living cautiously and you start living purposefully. You become dangerous not because you hurt others, but because nothing can hurt you enough to stop you anymore. So when life hits you hard, and it will, remember this: pain is not a curse, it's a calling. It's the universe testing your worth, your hunger, your will. Every tear, every scar, every sleepless night is proof that you're still fighting. And those who fight win. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually, because pain doesn't last forever, transformation does. One day you'll look back at everything that tried to break you and realize it built you. You'll see that the moments you thought were your end were actually the beginning of your strength. You'll thank the pain for making you powerful. Because pain is not your enemy. Pain is your birthright. Pain is your awakening. Pain is the birthplace of power. Hope is not found, it's created through resilience. People talk about hope as if it's some magical light that appears when everything is dark, as if one day it just shows up to save you. But that's not how it works. Hope isn't something you stumble upon in a field of despair. It's something you build with your bare hands when everything around you is collapsing. It's forged in the moments when quitting feels easier, when no one believes in you, when even you stop believing in yourself, yet you keep going anyway. Hope is not a gift, it's a creation, and the tool that shapes it is resilience. Resilience is the quiet, stubborn energy that refuses to die even when you're on your knees. It's what keeps your heart beating through heartbreak, your feet moving through exhaustion, and your mind focused when chaos surrounds you. You can't wait for hope to appear. You have to create it out of the pieces of your pain. That's what makes it powerful. It's built, not given. The strongest people you've ever met didn't have more hope than others. They made more. They chose to rise when everything told them to fall. They understood that every time life knocks you down, you're being handed a chance to rebuild, not just your situation, but yourself. Resilience is born in struggle. You can't learn it in comfort. It grows in the soil of failure, disappointment, and rejection. Every time you face something you think you can't survive, and then you do, your resilience grows stronger. That's how hope is born. It's the result of every hard moment you endured and refused to let define you. People often misunderstand hope as positive thinking, but it's not about pretending everything's fine. Real hope is looking at the wreckage, acknowledging the pain, and saying this isn't the end. It's the defiance of despair. It's your soul whispering, not yet, when the world screams, it's over. Think about it. When everything goes right, when life is smooth, you don't think about hope. You don't need it. Hope only matters when things are wrong, when you're lost, when there's no clear way out. That's when you have to build it from scratch, piece by piece. You take your willpower, your courage, your small victories, and you stack them like bricks. Each one makes your foundation stronger. Resilience is the cement that holds those bricks together. It's not glamorous, it's not loud, but it's the reason why some people rise from ashes while others stay buried in them. Creating hope through resilience means training your mind to keep moving forward, no matter how small the step. It means teaching yourself that falling doesn't mean failing. It means learning. The world respects results, but the universe respects effort. Every time you push through the pain, every time you get up one more time than you fall, you're telling life that you refuse to be defeated. That mindset, that relentless persistence, is what turns hopelessness into possibility. Resilience doesn't mean you never break. It means you break and rebuild stronger each time. It's the art of survival, the ability to adapt, to evolve, to rise. You learn to carry your scars not as reminders of weakness, but as symbols of strength. The people who have the deepest hope are often the ones who've been hurt the most. Because they know pain, they know darkness, and yet they still choose to move toward the light. That's real resilience. It's not about being fearless, it's about being courageous enough to keep going despite fear. Life will test you brutally. It will strip you down to your core and ask, how much can you take? And your answer, the way you respond, will define you. You can either surrender and say, I can't, or stand up, bleeding and broken, and say, I still can. That's the moment you create hope. It's not about waiting for things to get better. It's about becoming better until things do. Hope doesn't come from the outside. It grows from within you, nourished by your resilience, watered by your persistence, and strengthened by your will. When you keep moving forward in the face of chaos, you start realizing that you don't need to see the whole path, just the next step. Resilience gives you that clarity. You stop asking, what if I fail? And start saying, what if I don't give up? You stop being afraid of uncertainty because you trust your ability to adapt. Hope becomes not a feeling, but a discipline, a decision you make every single day to believe that there's something worth fighting for, even when you can't see it yet. And the beautiful part is, The moment you create hope for yourself, you begin to inspire others to do the same. Your resilience becomes contagious. People see your struggle, your persistence, your unbreakable will, and they start to believe they can do it too. That's how you change lives, not by preaching, but by enduring, by being living proof that resilience can create miracles. So if you're in that dark place right now, lost, tired, feeling like there's no way out, remember this: you don't have to find hope. You have to build it. Take one breath, one step, one decision at a time. Every moment you survive adds another layer to your strength. Every setback you endure shapes you into someone who cannot be destroyed. You are not powerless. You are in the process of becoming powerful. And one day you'll look back and realize that the hope you were searching for was inside you all along, buried under the pain, waiting for resilience to set it free. Because hope is not something you wait for. It's something you create through resilience. The moment you refuse to quit, you already win. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but it's the absolute truth. The world doesn't reward perfection, it rewards persistence. The ones who win aren't always the smartest, the fastest, or the most talented. They're the ones who stay when everyone else walks away. They're the ones who refuse to quit even when everything in them screams to stop. Victory doesn't always come with applause or medals. Sometimes it comes in silence and a quiet decision to keep moving when you have every reason to give up. That's when you've already won. Because the real battle isn't against others, it's against yourself. Your doubts, your fears, your pain, your excuses. When life knocks you down, quitting looks tempting. It whispers in your ear, telling you that it's easier to stop, that maybe you're not cut out for this, that maybe it's time to let go. And in that moment, most people listen. They surrender before the fight is even over. But not you. When you refuse to quit, you separate yourself from the crowd. You become the rare kind of person who doesn't just dream, but endures. Because success isn't about who starts the strongest. It's about who finishes despite the storm. Every time you choose to keep going, even when your mind says no, you're rewriting your destiny. You're proving to the world and to yourself that you can't be broken. Refusing to quit doesn't mean the pain disappears. It means you face it head on. It means you embrace the struggle as part of the process. Every challenge, every failure, every sleepless night is not a sign of weakness. It's proof that you're still in the fight. And as long as you're fighting, you're not losing, you're learning, you're growing, you're building a version of yourself that can handle anything. That's what true winning is. It's not about reaching the top once. It's about becoming someone who never stays down. You see, people think winning is about outcomes, but real winners know it's about mindset. When you refuse to quit, you develop a mental toughness that no one can teach. It's the kind of strength that only comes from pain, from rejection, from failure. It's a quiet, unshakable confidence that grows each time you survive what was meant to destroy you. You start to understand that life will never be easy, and that's okay. Because you don't need easy, you just need possible. And possible begins the moment you say, I'm not done yet. The moment you refuse to quit, the game changes. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start being the creator of your destiny. The people who give up will look at you and wonder how you keep going. They'll call you lucky, not realizing your luck was built from thousands of moments when you wanted to quit, but didn't. Luck isn't magic, it's persistence disguised. The truth is you can fail over and over again and still win, as long as you keep showing up. Because every time you try again, you're closer than before. The only real failure is quitting. Everything else is progress. You have to understand, the world doesn't owe you anything. It won't hand you success. It won't reward your dreams just because you have them. You have to earn it with resilience, with grit, with the kind of commitment that doesn't break when things get hard. That's why most people never make it. They quit right before the breakthrough. They walk away one day too early, one try too short, one moment too soon. But those who refuse to quit, they're the ones who find out what's on the other side of pain. They discover the power of persistence. They learn that the difference between winning and losing is often just one more attempt. Refusing to quit doesn't mean you never doubt yourself. It means you act despite the doubt. It means when fear shows up, you don't run, you move forward anyway. You accept that failure is part of the process, but giving up is not an option. Every great story, every champion, every revolutionary idea came from someone who didn't stop when they got hard. They didn't quit when they were tired, broke, or scared. They kept going until the world had no choice but to notice. That's the mindset of a winner. Not one who always wins, but one who never stops fighting. And here's the beautiful truth. When you refuse to quit, you've already won. Because you've defeated the weakest part of yourself. You've silenced the voice that says you can't. You've taken control of your own mind. Most people are trapped not by failure, but by fear of failure. The moment you decide you'll keep going no matter what, that fear loses its power. You become unstoppable. Not because everything suddenly works out, but because nothing can make you stop trying. That's real power, the kind that no one can take away. So the next time you feel like quitting, when the pressure's too much, when you've exhausted, when it feels like the whole world is against you, remember this. You don't need to see the finish line to know it's there. You just need to take the next step, because every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory over defeat. The moment you keep moving when others stop, you've already separated yourself. You've already won something far greater than a trophy. You've won control over your own destiny. Winning isn't about reaching the top once. It's about refusing to stay down every time you fall. It's about outlasting your excuses, outworking your doubts, and outbelieving your failures. You don't have to be the best. You just have to be the last one standing. And if you keep going, one day you'll look back and realize that everything you were fighting for wasn't just about success. It was about becoming the person who never gives up. Because the truth will always remain the same. The moment you refuse to quit, you already win. So when everything inside you screams that it's over, when the weight of failure crushes your chest and the world feels colder than ever, stand tall. You've come too far to let the pain decide your fate. Every second you choose to stay in the fight, you're proving that your spirit is stronger than your circumstances. The universe doesn't hand victory to those who want it. It gives it to those who earn it through perseverance, through the relentless refusal to surrender. You may not see the results today, but every step forward, every tear, every ounce of effort is building the future you dream of. Keep pushing, keep believing, keep going. Because in the end, it's not the loudest, the richest, or the strongest who win. It's the ones who simply refuse to stop. The moment you say, I'm not done, is the moment the world starts to bend in your favor. You don't need perfect conditions, just an unbreakable will. Remember this, success doesn't always come with noise. Sometimes it arrives quietly, disguised as persistence. And when it does, you'll know deep down that you earned it because you refused to quit, and that means you already won.